Hi guys, my name is Valerie. Oh wait, how does my intro go? Hi guys, welcome to ValZenDen. My name is Valerie. I did film another video for the, I think, Gay Groovy quad, and I did ask there if you guys are interested in me filming previous Light Slacker collections, even if it's been like a couple months since it released. Let me know what you think. I would really appreciate your feedback on that, so please let me know. But today we're going to be talking about the gorgeous, beautiful fall collection. It came out already, so I know you guys have obviously seen it, but let's pretend like it just came out. If you guys haven't seen these type of videos, I do nail swatches, I do my comparisons, and at the very end I do tell you my ranking of all the polishes, which I am dreading because I absolutely love this collection. But if you guys are interested in that, let's just go ahead and start with the video. Like I said, you guys have already seen it everywhere, but let's just pretend like you guys haven't seen it, okay? Just for me. Bam! This is what the PR looks like. I absolutely love it. I posted my reaction on my Instagram and my TikTok. For some reason, I can't post it on YouTube Shorts because it is way too long. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, just go to my TikTok or Instagram. I'll just leave it linked down below. But look how cute! This is so adorable. I love the packaging. It feels very organic. So this is just a close-up of the front. This is the back, and just like the little things that it says, it is so adorable, and I love how well thought of it was. And then this is what's inside. Oh gosh, ta-da! Look how pretty. I love it. It does bring a couple things, so I will talk about that first. Okay, so this is the little note that it came with, if you guys want to pause to read it. And this is the back part, just showing all of the colors and the names, and I love how they just match the colors to different things. That is so cute and creative. It also brings a little bumblebee, which is so cute. I think they are selling like the pack of 3 or 4. I'm not sure how many came with this collection, but I did get the bumblebee. And of course, this is gonna bring some nail tattoos, and the packaging is the same, just like a beautiful kind of like cardboard organic feel to it. And I'm gonna take them out for you guys. I haven't even opened it yet, so I'm just gonna open it for the first time with you so you guys can have a closer look. Hopefully the lighting lets you see everything, but it just has pumpkins, leaves, I see some flowers, some melons, more sunflowers. It's just like a bunch of harvesty autumn goodness. So I did take it out of the packaging, and I noticed like this cute little print on the back. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's just like a bunch of bees and just insects. How freaking cute. And like I showed you guys, this is just the packaging. Obviously all the names are on the sides, and it's just so beautiful. This is like the most autumn fall collection ever. Okay, so the first one I have here is called Little Miss Pumpkin. Little Miss Pumpkin is described as a burnt pumpkin orange with a crelly finish. Oh my god, the moment that I saw Little Miss Pumpkin, I'm like, yes. I'm always saying how much we need more oranges in Light Slacker, and I just got so happy when it was like this shade of burnt orange. I am all for the burnt orange polishes, so I am so happy for this one. I'm happy it exists and it's in our Light Slacker universe. Okay, so the first one that I compared this to is Aperol Spritz Anyone. I just felt like the tone of orange was very similar. Obviously Aperol Spritz Anyone is like pretty transparent with like a bunch of shimmer, but I just imagine how beautiful this one on top of Little Miss Pumpkin is. So cute. The next one that I was like, for sure I need to put this in the comparison right away, was A Mysterious Affair. One of my favorites from like fall collections ever. This one, it looks way more red to me. I know in the picture you might not be able to like really tell the difference, but it is way more red compared to Little Miss Pumpkin. The next one that I compared it to is Orange Submarine, just because it is like one of the brightest oranges we have in Light Slacker, but it is more of a neon kind of orange and less of like a red inclining kind of orange. So very different, don't need to worry about that. And of course the next one that I compared it to is Who Loves Orange Soda. Even more neon, even less of a red, so you guys have nothing to worry about with that one either. Okay, the second comparison, the first one I did is Hide the Rum. I didn't realize how light of a color Hide the Rum is until I compared it to Little Miss Pumpkin. They are very different, so don't even worry about that one either. It's just like way lighter and way brighter. Okay, the one in my thumb is Mr. Brightside, but just like Hide the Rum, it is a bunch of shades lighter than Little Miss Pumpkin, and it's more like of a yellowy tone because of the glitter that it has. So yeah, very, very different. For some reason, I wanted to include Whiskey Neat here since it does have like a orangey kind of tint to it, but I just realized how much more of like a golden brown color it has compared to Little Miss Pumpkin. So yeah. And at the very end, a polish that I haven't touched in forever, I compared it to Unagi. Also made me realize how much more of a brown it is compared to Little Miss Pumpkin. All right, so I do have a couple of bottle comparisons I want to show you guys. Some of them might be a little weird, but I feel like since there isn't a lot of oranges in Light Lacquer, I pretty much compared them to most of them. I would show you some alternatives just in case you guys are wondering about those. Okay, so this one is right next to Raphael. This is next to That's the Ticket, and I almost put this in the comparison. This is next to He's Her Lobster. This is next to Cubana. This is next to Mamey. This is next to Lucy, or I think it's called 1952, I believe. This is next to The Butler. Here is next to Gingerbread. And this is next to Leo. I know it's a little weird, but Leo has always given me a pinkish, orangish kind of vibe, so I'm like, might as well just put it here. Okay, the next one I have here is called When September Ends. When September Ends is described as a hunter green polish with a crelly finish. You already know how I feel about my greens, so this is no exception. Such a perfect autumn or fall green. I am obsessed with it. I welcome any greens that they want to bring to Light Lacquer, so super happy about that. I know the description says crelly finish, and I think it said that in Little Miss Pumpkin as well, but I feel like it leans towards more of a creme finish, just so you guys are aware, even though you guys will be seeing the swatches anyways. Obviously, the first one that I compared it to is For the Thrill. I did not realize how much more of a teal finish For the Thrill had. I thought this was like the most hunter green ever until When September Ends. It's just When September Ends is more like a true grass green, and I guess For the Thrill has more of like a teal blue tone to it. The next one that I compared it to is Something Wicked, which the reason why I put it here is because it does have like that true green grass kind of color. The next that I compared it to is Hoping to Be Kissed, also because it does have like that true green color, even though this one leans a tiny bit to the blue compared to When September Ends. And the next one that I compared it to is Tranquila y Tropical, which obviously I didn't think they would be super similar, but I didn't think they would be this different. Tranquila y Tropical is such a vibrant like neon green. I am obsessed with it, so beautiful. Okay, the next comparison is To the Nines, and it just made me realize how beautiful To the Nines is. But obviously it is a very, very shimmery polish, and it does kind of lean a little bit more yellowy, but it does have like that little bit of teal. It's just like such a beautiful polish. Obviously I had to compare it to Anti-Hero, but Anti-Hero to me is like mostly a black polish with a drop of green. So if you guys are ever wondering about that, that's basically what Anti-Hero is. The next one they compared it to is Nevermore. It is very, very different, but I just thought you guys might appreciate the comparison to that one because it is more of like one of the newish, I guess, greens, but obviously it just looks so much more gray toned. And the last one that I compared it to is Old Money. I guess I put it here because it is like a mid-toned kind of green, but I did want to show you guys how much more blue Old Money leans, because to me I thought it was a very like greeny color, but it is very, very more of a teal blue polish. So thankfully for this bottle comparison, we do have a few more than Little Miss Pumpkin, just because we are blessed with having a bunch of greens on Light Lacquer, and there were so many that I wanted to compare, so I'm just gonna start and show you guys. This one is compared to Chloe, or I think it's called Weed now. This is compared to Melancholy. This is compared to Matcha Tea. This is compared to The Gorgeous Emerald. This is with Arrivederci. Here it is with La Luna. This is with I Smell Snow. This is next to Jefa. Here it is next to Central Perk. This is next to Everlasting Gobstopper. And lastly, this is compared next to Taurus. The next one I have here is called I Am an Autumn. I Am in Autumn is described as a brown purple polish with a purple green shimmer finish. I feel like this was probably a very hard polish to describe, to put into words at least, because it is so many different things that obviously, like they said, it is brown, but it does have like that purpley, greeny kind of thing. It's just so precious. I really like this polish. The moment I saw it, I'm like, this is gorgeous. And I've seen a couple of girlies put it on top of like a creme polish and it looks amazing. It gives it so much life. So I think it's pretty obvious the first option to compare this to was Whiskey Neat. That was the first one that came into my mind, I'm sure to everyone as well. But to my surprise, Whiskey Neat is so much more orange. I thought it was like a pretty brownie kind of polish, but it is so much more orange. But you can tell how different they really are in the comparisons. The next one that I compared it to is Rose de Malo, which I didn't ever think I would be comparing it to this polish, especially this close to it. But it does give me a little bit of a vibe of Rose de Malo. The next one that I compared it to is Churro, which I think it's Emma, like the old Emma polish. Obviously, I Am in Autumn is like a fully shimmery polish, so it is kind of weird to compare it to more of like creme polishes, but it did give me like a brownie kind of feel to it, so I hope Churro helped you out with that. And for some reason, the next one that I compared it to is Miss Wheeler. I don't know what it is. I just feel like this one has like a brownie tint to it somehow that it kind of reminded me of I Am Autumn weirdly. Okay, the next slide, the first one that I compared it to is the Butler. I forgot how beautiful the Butler is. I love like that orangey brown kind of polish. Obviously, they're not identical, they're different finishes, but it does kind of resemble it in a weird way. The next one that I compared it to is Gingerbread. I don't know why. I guess since it's another brownie, I just decided to compare it to it. The next one that I compared it to is Unagi, again because it is like an orangey brown kind of polish. Obviously they're different, but I feel like they compare very well. And the last one that I compared it to is Super Freak. I don't know why. When I saw the bottles together, it made me want to compare it. I don't know why. I know that Super Freak is more of like a silvery purple kind of polish, but I don't know. Let me know if it helped you put it in the comparison. Okay, so for this one, I'm gonna throw a bunch of random ones as well, just because I feel like since it's such a hybrid color, I want to like give you a couple of options for you guys to see. So the first one that I have here is Or Worse Expelled. This is with Mrs. Bennett. Here it is with Earth Angel. This is next to Julia, which I will put down what the new name is called. Here it is next to Rosie. This is next to Raphael. This is next to Smoky Quartz. This is next to Mrs. Robinson. This is next to Speak Easy to Me. This is I'm All Toasty Inside. This is next to Thea. Here it is next to Girl Power. This is next to Aliana. This is next to Caramelo. This is next to We'll Always Have Paris. This is a weird one, but I did want to compare it to Unfortunate Souls. This is next to Un Poco Coco. Also a weird one, but this is next to Leo. And this one is next to That's Expensive. The next one that I have here is called Lady Marmalade. Lady Marmalade is described as a cherry mocha polish with a crelly finish. I heard this one was very popular, and I can see why. It is such like a classy kind of polish. I feel like this one is gorgeous on every skin tone as well. So if you're seeing the comparisons, the first one that I compared it to is Ruby. I did not expect Ruby to be the first one that I compared it to until I saw them together, and I'm like, they look pretty a little bit similar. Obviously Ruby is a lot darker. By the way, this is a discontinued color, so you can't get it on Lacquer, but if you do have it and you're curious to see if they're similar, they're not, just because Ruby does have like those flecks of shimmer in them as well, but they are very similar and to my surprise. So if you missed out on Ruby and are trying to get something like it, I definitely recommend Lady Marmalade. The next one that I compared it to is Espresso, and I don't know about you guys, but every time I hear Espresso, I can't get the song out of my head. But anyways, the next one that I compared it to is Espresso. It is very similar, like in the mid-tone kind of range, but you can tell how much more red Lady Marmalade is. Obviously, if you like Espresso, then I definitely recommend Lady Marmalade because it's right up your alley of like your favorite colors. The next one that I compared it to is Bite Me. Obviously, it's more of a true red and it has a bunch of shimmers in it. And the last one that I compared it to is Folies and Nonsense. I didn't either like expect it to compare it to Folies and Nonsense, but it did give me that kind of like red red brown kind of vibe, so I thought it might be helpful to have in the comparison, even though this one is also discontinued, so you guys can't really get it on their website, but just in case for the girlies who do have these polishes. Okay, so the next comparison, the first one that I did is Scorpio. I think they changed the name, right? Scorpio Ops or something like that. I'm not sure. But this is Scorpio. I always thought it was more of a red, dark red polish until I compared it next to Lady Marmalade. You can really see how much more like purple toned it inclines to. The one on my thumb is True Blood. Also, it's more of like a crimson red. So I don't know if you guys can tell on the shadowy part of True Blood that it does have like a similarity to it. The next one that I compared it to is Brownie, which I think it used to be called Olivia. I'm gonna write all the names down in the description. It is very similar, to my surprise. The only big difference that I see is that Lady Marmalade is a lot more red toned. I feel like they're very similar. It's so strange to me. I never thought they would be this similar. And then the last one that I compared it to is Raphael, which I thought like it's the opposite for me. I thought Raphael would be more similar to Lady Marmalade, but you can just tell how much more like orangey red it is rather than like a brownie red kind of color. So hopefully this comparison helped. Okay, so since this one to me is also kind of like a hybrid polish, I did want to compare it to a couple of weird ones maybe. So the first one that I have here is Varsity Jacket. This is with Speak Easy to Me. This is with A Mysterious Affair. This is with Miss Bennett. This is with Cubana. And this is with Joan, which unfortunately is no longer sold on their website. This is with How You Doin'. This is with Donatello. This is with Aliana. This is with Midnight Train. And lastly, this is with Lady in Red. Okay, the next one I have here is called Maple Street. Maple Street is described as a mahogany brown polish with a fine golden shimmer and a magnetic finish. I did want to mention that this one does have a magnetic finish, so in case you guys do have your little magnetic wand, it just makes these type of polishes so much more fun because you can do different things to it. Okay, so if you guys are seeing the comparisons, the first one that I compared it to is Speak Easy to Me. That was obviously the first one that came into my mind when I was thinking about comparing Maple Street, but to my surprise, they are so different. I didn't realize how cool toned Speak Easy to Me actually was until I compared it to Maple Street. And I also feel like Maple Street is a lot more sheer than Speak Easy to Me. So if you like those type of like fun kind of browns, I definitely recommend Maple Street. But as I am filming this, it is currently sold out. I'm not sure when they're gonna restock, but definitely keep your eyes open on their website. The next one that I compared it to is Miss Bennett, which to my surprise, it was a lot more similar than I thought. I can see that Miss Bennett is a little bit more pink toned, but in the end, I feel like they are super similar, and with how thin Maple Street is, I can see pairing these two up. The next one that I compared it to is Espresso. Obviously, it's a bit more darker and the finish is completely different. And the next one that I compared it to is Tiramisu, which I don't remember what the original name is. I will put all of that in the description. And this one is a lot more pink toned, so the tone is very different as well. Okay, the next comparison, the first one that I did is Raphael, and I thought that this would look more similar, but Raphael seems more vibrant in a way and more like red toned. On my thumb is Brownie. I knew that they weren't going to be similar, but I just wanted to put it here anyways. Obviously, Brownie is a lot more of a chocolate brown kind of color. So next to it, I did Donatello. Obviously, it's a lot more sheer than Brownie, and it is a little bit more similar in my opinion to Maple Street just because it does have like a bit more of a red tone kind of background. And at the very end, I compared it to Rose de Malo. Even though they are super different, I just wanted to have it here just in case because I know Rose de Malo is like a very kind of mid-toned shimmery brown polish, so hopefully it helps. So for the bottle comparisons, I feel like I did a lot of the browns, so it won't be as long as the other ones, but I do have some random ones as well. So this is compared to Smoky Quartz. This is next to Emma. Here it is next to The Butler. This is next to Un Poco Coco. Here it is next to Mrs. Robinson. This is next to Unagi. Here it is next to Julia. And lastly, this is compared to Or Worse Expelled. Okay, and the very last polish from the collection is called Figgy Light. Figgy Light is described as a plum purple polish with a creme finish. I love when we add purple polishes that we desperately needed in Light Lacquer, so this one was not an exception. I feel like this tone was very much missing in Light Lacquer, so I'm so happy about it. Such a beautiful, like dark, but still like fun purple polish. Okay, so if you guys are seeing the comparisons, the first one that I compared it to is Sagittarius. I didn't really think too much of this polish. I wasn't sure of which one I was gonna compare it to. So to my surprise, Sagittarius was like the first one that I saw, and I'm like, this one is so similar. I feel like the tone is very similar. Obviously the finish isn't. The one on my thumb is Varsity Jacket, which is a polish that unfortunately discontinued, but I don't know why. I just feel like I needed to put it here. Even though now looking at it, Varsity Jacket is a little bit more red toned. The next one that I compared it to is Xenon. Obviously the texture is completely different, and also this one is discontinued unfortunately, but I just felt like the tone of purple was very similar. And the last one is My Jam. I thought this would look more similar, but it is obviously way more pink toned, and obviously it is more like of a curly finish, and this one unfortunately is also discontinued. Okay, for the next slide, the first one that I compared it to is How You Doin'. I honestly thought it would look way more similar, but comparing it next to it, you can completely tell how much more of a reddish wine kind of color it is. If you do have How You Doin' and are scared to get Figgy Light, do not worry, they are very different. The next one that I compared it to is kind of surprised me, and it's Yzma. I did not think I would put it in this list just because Yzma is like a very dark purple kind of color. The more I looked at it, I'm like, you know what? I feel like someone out there would appreciate putting it next to Yzma. The next one that I compared it to is Amethyst, and for reference, this is like the new finish that they have. This one is a lot more of a blue toned kind of purple, but regardless, I feel like it was necessary to put it here, so hopefully it helped you guys. The last one that I put is actually the first one that I thought of comparing this one to, which is Miss Hepburn. I don't know where I went wrong, but it is so different. Just like Amethyst, Miss Hepburn is a lot more blue toned. I honestly thought they would be more similar, but they are super different. So for this one, I actually feel like I left out so many purples, so that's why I'm gonna compare to a couple of ones that I feel like I should have added to the comparison. I just don't have enough fingers, guys. This is next to Tiny is Mighty. This is next to Brujita, which came really close to being in the comparison. This is next to Alexandrite. Here it is next to Nebula. This is next to Mozart. Here it is next to Lavender Latte. This is with Tightrope. I know a lot of you probably wanted me to compare this next to Scorpio, so here it is. I'm sorry I didn't put it in the comparison, but I just feel like they weren't similar enough to actually put it in. And the last one is Unfortunate Souls, which I also almost put it in the comparison. Alright, it is time for the ranking. As always, please let me know what your ranking is. I always want to hear what you guys have to say. So, if you guys have never seen these type of videos, I've always based the last place in the polish that I would least likely randomly choose to wear. So, unfortunately, sorry if this is your favorite, but my last place is gonna have to go to Maple Street. I don't typically go for neutral browns kind of polishes, so that's why this one is in last place, even though I really love how shimmery it is. And I do like it that it is different from Speakeasy to me in case I do need like a different shade of shimmery brown. Definitely don't hate it, but it's my last place. It's kind of crazy, but my 5th place, I didn't really think I would put this low, but it's gonna have to go to Figgy Light. I love my purples. Purples is probably like my next favorite color, but I don't know. I feel like the other ones in the collection just speak more to me. I was battling this one with the 4th place, so I feel like those two are interchangeable depending on how I feel, but unfortunately I think I'm gonna put this one in 5th place. So my 4th place, this is a favorite amongst everyone, so I'm kind of scared to put it this low, but it is what it is. My number 4 is gonna go to Lady Marmalade, and it's kind of surprising to me that this is this up high because I don't usually go for polishes like this either, but there's just something about this shade that it looks so cool because depending on how you look at it, it looks more brown, it looks more red, so it's such a fun polish, and I really do appreciate that polish. Okay, my number 3 is gonna go to I Am an Autumn. If the other polishes that are my 1st and 2nd place weren't here, this one would probably be on top because not only can you wear this by itself, but you can add this on top of any polish, especially with the polishes in this collection. It would look so pretty. If you guys love shimmers like me, this is a dual purpose shimmer, so I highly recommend it. It's so beautiful. All right, my 1st and 2nd place. I am like in a battle with myself because I love these so much and I honestly didn't even know what to pick. But I am always in a constant battle with myself, and I think my second place surprisingly is gonna go to When September Ends. I know the greens are always like my top polishes, but if you guys haven't guessed the number one, it's just when I saw my number one, I just lost it because I love burnt oranges like that, and I feel like we desperately need them in light lacquers. This one, honestly, if my number one didn't exist, absolutely my number one. This is like the coolest green for any time of the year. I feel horrible putting it as my number two, but she is a beauty. And my number one is gonna go to Little Miss Pumpkin, which I feel like if you guys have seen my other videos, I always struggle to put my oranges and greens in the ranking because I feel like those are two of my favorite like colors. I freaked out when I saw this one. I thought it was like the most beautiful burnt orange, so I love it. But you know what? I feel like you need these top three. These are absolutely beautiful because just like I said about I Am in Autumn, you can wear it by itself, but you can put it on top of any of these and it will look so beautiful. Anyways, guys, that is it for this video. Please let me know your feedback. I would really appreciate you guys letting me know if you want me to film videos for previous collections that I haven't been able to post yet. Please let me know. And also, don't forget to let me know your ranking. I appreciate you guys so much. Everyone that used my code or my link on launch day, I just like, it blows my mind how amazing you guys are, and I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you and your support. It means the world to me. I love you guys so much, and I will see you on the next one.